Hello and welcome to the Y. My name is Nicholas, and I am going to be your host, I guess. Not sure how to start this off. Since this is my first post, I figured I would talk about what the content will be on this. So, basically, I write mostly about comics, whether that be in the form of information about stuff that's going on in the media regarding comics or short stories. You'll find a lot of stuff on my blog, actually. The blog is also called Welcome to the Y. .blogspot.com. Um, yeah. So you'll find information about comics, short stories dealing with all different subject materials, and other articles things that just, get my attention, or I feel I need to talk about, or feel that I want to talk about and share with other people. This happens to be one of those things. So, oddly enough, my first audio or video post is not actually about comics, but it's about something else. And yeah, I'll just jump right into it, I guess. So, a lot has happened. A lot happened yesterday, and it kind of forced me to think about some things. Before I started this particular post, I spent well over an hour trying to the type about the day that happened yesterday. From the rallies promoting their own agenda to the incident with the man plowing through a group of opposing protesters, and it was just a lot. And it was as I was nearing the end of that particular post that I decided to use an example from a film that seemed to kind of coincide with the events going on yesterday and really the world as a whole. And that movie was Pokemon, oddly enough. I know it's weird, but that wouldn't be me if I didn't get a little weird. So I decided I'd refocus the entire post and write about how that film relates to today's current emotional climate. So let's talk about the film. I'm assuming everyone has seen it, but if not, there is a link in this post where you can actually see a 90-second recap of the movie to either help you remember or kind of give you the gist of what I'm trying to talk about here. So, I'll assume that everyone is caught up now. Alright, so as we know, the film starts off with the creation of Mewtwo, and it quickly deals with his feelings toward being artificial, a carbon copy of the original Pokemon Mew. His emotions quickly turn to rage, and he hastily kills the team of scientists that created him. The rest of the film deals with his anger towards humans, as well as the Pokemon of whom he was fashioned after, Mew. He also has an issue with domesticated Pokemon who take orders from their masters. Mewtwo is an interesting character because his anger is justified. I mean, you can relate to how he's feeling. We can resonate with the fact that he wants to find his own identity, as well as the fact that he doesn't want to remain a captive to his creators. However, his choosing to judge all humanity based on the actions of some is not how he should have gone about it. Same with people nowadays, how they judge a group of people based on the actions of few. And I'm not saying everyone does it, clearly not, but there are plenty of people who do it, and it's not right. It's not the way to go about it, because you can't, just because some people behave in ways that are evil, we should not judge all of them based on that fact. The actions of a few should not define the character of all. But, moving on, I want to talk about the final scene, the final act, not the final scene, but it's when Ash is standing upon one of the pillars and he's watching all the Pokemon fight each other. He doesn't understand why they need to battle with such ferocity, why there needs to be this level of violence, and he wants to stop it. So he rushes down, and ultimately he ends up sacrificing himself in order to stop the bloodshed. What's interesting about this final act is the fact that it's unavoidable, because really Mewtwo's not going to listen to any sort of anything that Ash or any of the other Pokemon trainers have to say, any human really, or Pokemon that is subservient to a human. In this case, it took a serious incident, which was Ash becoming a martyr, for it to register with Mewtwo that what he was doing was in fact wrong. I wish I could skip over this and be like, violence isn't necessary, but that's just not the case, especially with people. Martyrs are sometimes necessary, and it's not a good thing, it's just a realistic thing with human nature. Something big has to happen in order to get people on the same page. My one gripe, though, with humanity is that there have been countless martyrs throughout human history who have sacrificed themselves in the name of peace. Like, how many more is it going to take in order for us to really achieve the peace that we all desire? It's weird. But, a quote from the movie really stands out to me, which is from YouTube. Once Ash sacrifices himself and he understands what's going on, he says, like, I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. The main point I'm trying to illustrate here is that what Mewtwo says is, it's irrefutably, undeniably true. The circumstances of one's birth are, in fact, irrelevant. Where you're born, like whether it be the United States, the United Kingdom, or Africa, or Asia, Afghanistan, South Korea, wherever, it doesn't matter. Nor should your sexuality, your gender, your race, or anything like that. None of that should factor into the equation. It's life. And what you do with it, it really matters. That's it. So when I see these acts of violence between groups of people, I can't help but think about this. About how it all shouldn't matter. That all lives should matter equally. That one's race should not be associated with power, or even more so the lack of it. Humans have the capacity for such excellence, to be intelligent and beautiful and strong and more. That's why it baffles me when we behave in ways that contradict that. When we act so stupidly and irrationally. When we choose to use our strength against one another, instead of for one another. A quote comes to mind, it's one of my favorite. Why do we argue? Life is so fragile. A successful virus clinging to a speck of mud suspended in endless nothing. It's actually from Watchmen. I knew it was from Alan Moore, but I didn't actually know that he wrote that in Watchmen. Life is short, people, is what I'm trying to say. It really is. We have to make the most of what we have here. I don't get why we argue over things that really hold no value in the grand scheme. Someone's race. Race isn't even... It's a social construct. It's not even a real thing. Like, yeah, definitely there are different colors to our skin, but they don't hold any value in regard to who we are as people. And yet we choose... not all of us, of course, as I said. Some of us choose to think that because their skin is white, that they are better. Or vice versa. It's just, it's difficult to understand why we choose division over unison, or being unified. To wrap it up, I think Meowth sums it up best with the quote, maybe if we started looking at what's the same instead of always looking at what's different, who knows? If we could all just stop focusing on what's different, like our race and our sexuality and our gender, and take the time to focus on what's the same, i.e. 99% of our DNA, and just imagine what the future might hold for us. I can only see things getting better. Can't you? So, if you like this post, then feel free to, repost it or share it, or really leave a comment about how you feel about the movie in relation to what's going on in today's society, or leave a comment about what you like about Pokemon, or just about how you feel about today's society and the events that happen in Charlottesville. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Not entirely sure. But that's all I have here. Feel free to check out my blog for more stuff like this. Mostly comic stuff, but occasionally I'll post something that's real talk. But yeah. Stay tuned for more stuff from Welcome to the Y. Or, for short, the Y. Have a good one.